Hello! In today's teacher-facing video, we will be exploring how to conduct a math talk around ordering and comparing mixed numbers. Let's take a quick look at slide 3 with some important information about the upcoming slides we will be looking at. So let's go ahead to slide 3, and you'll notice here for slides B and C, it has some important information that we should look at. So it says here that the data provided on each of these slides is missing labels. The labels were purposefully left off to get students thinking about the quantities, how the data is being presented, and asking questions about what this data could represent. So now let's go ahead to slide B, which we can find on slide 17. On this slide, students are prompted to answer the questions, what do you notice, what do you wonder, and what does this make you think about the line plots? You'll notice that the labels are purposefully omitted as we stated in slide 3. So you'll notice here that this line plot has different sized lines. You'll notice that some lines have X's above them. And these are things that we're hoping students will also take notice of. So here are some sample responses that students might share with you. So students might say, I notice I can count what is above the lines marked with an X. I notice some have no X's. I notice some lines are longer and some are shorter. You'll notice here that they are broken up into eighths. So you'll notice maybe that your students see longer lines, then slightly shorter lines, and then much shorter lines. So it's showing the wholes, the fourths, and then the eighths. Your students might also let you know that they're wondering why some have more X's than others. Others might notice that some have 1 X's, some have 2 X's, and some have 3 X's. Some students might also know that there is one X that's that is further away than all the other X's. Students might then, for the final question, what does this make you think about line plots? Students might say that line plots might be like number lines, and that line plots might be broken into parts like number lines are. So with that, let's go ahead and take a look at slide 19 or slide D. And here you're going to ask students if they notice anything similar to this line plot from the one that we saw in slide 17. And students should notice that it's the same line plot with some lines having 1, 2, 3, or no X's above the lines. Once that observation has been made, you're going to want to complete this slide. So you're going to read the prompt to the students. The chart to the right and the line plot below shows the distance 4th graders in Miss Smith's class were able to run before stopping for a rest. So students should notice here that in the line plot there is a title and there are labels. So it's the distance Miss Smith's 4th graders ran. We have here the distance in miles. We also have here a little key that tells us that 1x equals 1 student. And students should notice that the line plot is from 0 to 3 miles. And that not all the lines are labeled, but that students might notice that the lines with a X above are labeled and all whole numbers are labeled. Now, also students might notice that that 1 is further away, so that is an outlier. And if students take a look at the chart here, they're noticing that here we have the students' names. Here we have how far they ran. And students should notice that for however many students there are here, which are 10, there are also 10 X's here on the number line, on the line plot to represent 1 X for each of the students. Okay, students might also notice that in the chart, the fractions have a denominator of 2, 4, and 8, and that's why the line plot is divided into eighths. And then, students will be answering those questions there about how the chart and the line plot are similar and how they're different, right? Talking about how the data is much more easily read from the line plot than here in the chart, where it's more organized, and students can tell the frequency of how many students ran a certain distance. And then students will finally answer the question, what does this make you think about line plots? So this will complete today's video on launching your lesson on using line plots to compare fractions. See you next time. Bye-bye.